We've done so much rounding and estimating in this chapter. We've learned how to round to the nearest 100, to the nearest 10, to the nearest 1,000. We've learned how to estimate many different answers, like addition and subtraction, and multiplication problems, estimating the product. So now we're going to move on to learn about estimating division problems. This is a little bit different than what we've been doing with addition and multiplication, but it's still going to be great. We can still do it. Before we get down to estimation, we need to remember what we did in class today. Remember the connection between multiplication and division. So let's look at this here. We have a multiplication problem. 7 times 2 equals 14. Remember that 14 divided by 2 equals 7. Notice that the way I wrote that right here is not actually the way we write division problems, right? So we could write this same problem, we can write it over here. It means the same thing if we write it backwards with the division. 14 divided by 2 equals 7. And we can go back and forth between multiplication and division. If we were given this division problem, we could write it as a multiplication problem this way. 14 divided by 2 equals 7 is the same as 7 times 2 equals 14. So here's our new problem. Estimate to find the answer of 85 divided by 5. So what are we looking for? We are looking for this answer. We're looking for this question mark. We can flip that around into a multiplication problem to see what we can find. So we're looking for what times 5 is close to 85. Let's try a few things. Okay, what's something that's easy that we know? We know that 5 times 10 is 50, right? And that's a little bit close to 85, but let's keep looking to see if we can find something closer, or let's keep looking until we find something above 85. So 5 times 20 is 100. There we go, it's above 85. On a number line, we have 50 here, 100 here. The midpoint would be 75, that's in the middle, right? So that means that right about here, maybe, is 85. Remember, we're trying to get as close as we can to 85. Our original problem is 85 divided by 5. We want to get as close as we can to 85. So in these two problems, 5 times 10 equals 50, and 5 times 20 equals 100. We see that 100 is closer to 85. The difference is only 15, as opposed to the difference here is 35. So we're going to focus on 5 times 20. It is so important to keep going back to the problem. 85 divided by 5. How is 85 divided by 5 related to this 5 times 20 equals 100? Well, we can change this back into a division problem as 100 divided by 5 equals 20. And when we put that right next to our problem, which is 85 divided by 5 equals question mark, they look very similar, and we can understand the estimate, right? Here are two numbers that are kind of the same, and then we have a question mark and a 20 together. So we can say that the estimated quotient is 20. Let's try this problem. Find 92 divided by 2. We really need to think about what the question is asking us. The question is asking us, what is 92 divided by 2? If we flip this problem over and look at question mark times 2 equals 92, how close are we going to get? Okay, we can pull out our times 2 table and we see that 12 times 2 is 24. That's way away. I don't think this is going to be very much help to us either. So we need to use the facts that we know to find out what times 2 is close to 92. All right, so let's look at this. We know, how about, let's try the ones we've tried before. 20 times 2 equals 40. 40 is really far from 92. We'll see if we can get any closer. We can try 40 times 2 and we get 80. That's kind of close, right? Let's keep going. 50 times 2 equals 100. And that now we have on both sides of the 90. 80 is less than 92. 80 is less than 92. And 100 is more than 92. So we know that the real answer is somewhere between 40 and 50. So to find our estimate, we need to figure out which one is closer to 92. Is 80 closer to 92? The difference is 12. And the difference between 92 and 100 is 8. So we've found a little bit of a hint for our estimation. We know that 20 times 2 is too far away. And 40 times 2 is further away. And 50 times 2 is the closest. So we're going to use 50 times 2. When we flip that around, we get 100 divided by 2 equals 50. And when we compare that to here, 92 divided by 2 equals question mark, we can say that the estimated quotient is 50. What we're looking for was this question mark. Our estimate is this, which is also seen here in the multiplication problem. We used multiplication to estimate our division problems, and we can do that because they're so closely related. This is the last problem. Let's read it together. Novak, a boy, bought a box of 72 building blocks, like Legos. He shared the blocks equally with his 2 friends. About how many blocks did each of them get? So now that we read the problem, we need to understand the problem. We know that there's 72 building blocks, and we know that there are 3 people, Novak and his 2 friends, 3 people. If we read the problem again, Novak bought a box of 72 building blocks. That means he has 72 total. He shared his blocks equally with 2 friends. So there's dividing between 3 people about how many blocks did each of them get. So we're dividing a total of 72 blocks between 3 people, and we want to know how many each person got. We can also read this word, and we know that we want to find an estimate. About means finding the estimate, not the exact answer. Now that we've understood the problem, we need to move on to how to find the estimate. We use multiplication and how it's related to division to figure out the estimation. If we flip this around, 3 times what gets us close to 72. Let's try what we know. 3 times 12 is 36. That is super far away. That probably will not be much use to us. So let's try 3 times 20. And that gets us to 60. That's closer. Let's see if we can get closer. 3 times 30 is 90. And now we have an answer lower than 72 and an answer higher than 72. What is the difference between 60 and 72? It's 12. What is the difference between 72 and 90? It's 18. So because we can figure out which is the closest, we know which one we want to use. We know we do not want to use 3 times 12 equals 36 because that's too far away. The difference is too big. We don't want to use 3 times 30 equals 90 because 3 times 20 equals 60 is closer. Look at how these three problems are related to each other, right? We have the 3 in each one of them, and we have close to 72 in each one of them as well. We need to flip this one that we just created into a division problem. 60 divided by 3 equals 20. Again, let's look at this problem that we made for the word problem and this number sentence that we made just now. They are very similar, and we can find that the estimated quotient is 20 because 20 times 3 is close to 72.